Hi there, this is Hillary Billups, and I want to welcome you to my lesson plan, which deals with word choice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our ride into word choice world. So let me give you some background on my students. I was lucky enough to have three of them, all male, two Caucasians, and one other, with all of them being on IEPs, one of those being an ELL. Our goal for the lesson was this. At the end of the lesson, over 4 days, the students will be able to locate 5 common words and change them into 5 more interesting words. We are very big on I can statements. We don't like hearing I can't. So our I can statement was, I can write a story using interesting and juicy words instead of more common words. So how do you hook them? Well, when we read stories, what types of words grab our attention? They may be difficult at first to read, but the more interesting our word selection is, the better our story can be. And this brought my students' full attention, ready to hit the ground running. So the students and I will read together 2 paragraphs that have fairly common words in them. We will then highlight those common words and start looking up more juicier words to replace them with. When coming across the word water, for example, what are some words that might be more interesting? Once we have found those words by using either an online thesaurus or the hardbound book, we can change the more common word to one much more exciting. So now that you've got them hooked, here you go. Bubble mapping. Bubble mapping is a great tool for kids to see other words that mean the same thing or something similar, especially so they don't have to go back and keep looking them up. It gives them choices. So, by using our smart board, I drew ovals on our smart board, and each student came up and wrote a word, and we went from smallest to largest. So we started with our original word, water, and wrote it in the middle, and then a student looked up water, and we found the following words: pond, ocean, river, lake, and puddle. They loved the sound of all these words, and they loved the fact that each of them, because we were reading a selection about water, they each wanted to use water in their story. And because we had so many options, neither of them had to use each other's word. Another way of bubble mapping is by putting it smallest body of water to the largest. So we started out with puddle. We then went on to pond, lake, and ocean. And as you can see, my arrows got bigger as well, just to emphasize some more the fact that we were going from smallest body of water to largest. So once we've mapped, then what? By mapping, graphing, or simply writing out options, visual kiddos have a reference to go back to. You can also record these words into Google Speak so that our Audible students can have a listen again and again. This comes in handy, especially if one or more of the students needs more time working. The others can work at their own pace, and they can keep going if they need to. So now that they have new word choices, so what? What does that mean? By helping the students select new word choices that make a more interesting storyline, those students start to use those words in everyday conversations as well, and they remember to use more complex words when they are writing their next story. They can now decide which word choice to replace their not so complex original word with something much more exciting and interesting. And they loved this because they got to use their more interesting word with their friends, and their friends thought they were pretty smart. So, how do you know if they actually understand that idea? How do you know if they've got it? We all need to be able to check our work to see if we get it. As we go through the lesson, I continually ask the students to help each other and check each other. Do they agree with each other? And if not, then why? When they read each other's stories, can they show me a thumbs up when they hear the more interesting word selection? Can they identify the word in the story? And even we go as far as to highlight that word. And when all is said and done for the day, how are they feeling on a scale of 1 to 5 that they understand which words were changed and why? 1, no, they need a new lesson. 5, they've got it and are excited to move on. Thumbs up. They get it. And that's the type of faces we want to see on our students. We love it. So when looking back over my lesson, as with every lesson plan, there are things that could be done better and differently. I could always use more time. I think most of us feel that way. The students enjoyed learning the new words, new ways to look up words by using the laptop, and listening to Google Speak pronounce the words. We were lucky enough that we had 3 laptops for all of them, and they each could borrow headphones so as to not disturb the person beside them. I think as some of them finished up early, they may have been typing in unusual words just to hear Google Speak pronounce it. But that's quite all right. It's a lesson for them. Looking back again, thumbs up is a great quick way to assess, and the kiddos enjoy giving me a visual that they get it. Another way of doing this would be with exit tickets. With our scale of 1 to 5, we will also show on our fingers how much we get this lesson. And if we are falling in the 2 and 3 range, we will just spend more time on it. It does not mean that we are dumb or that we don't get it completely. We just need a refresher course on maybe how to look up words in the thesaurus, or how to pronounce certain words, or to understand fully why we are changing water to something more interesting. So the next step, what would it be? Well, once we have traded our common words for more interesting ones, we will start to write our own stories using our knowledge and tools that we gained from this lesson. I wouldn't change much about the lesson, as it is a mere stepping stone to a much bigger picture. However, I always wish I had more time, because I learn as much from them as they do from me. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and best of luck to you on your journey into the world of teaching. I look forward to looking at all of the rest of my classmates' presentations and thank you again.